guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Krysia. Thanks for joining me today. We're going to be doing a foundation review. This foundation has been reviewed now the last couple weeks on YouTube. I live in Canada and we do not get our products as quick as the States and probably not as quick as I'm guessing the UK and the rest of Europe. I'm still going to be putting out these videos as the products become available to me, and I hope you guys still find it helpful to get my perspective on these releases and how they work out for me. So I still hope you find value in it. Let's go ahead and review this foundation here. This is the DIOR Forever Foundation. I got their matte one. I have the glow one in the previous formulation, and I wasn't interested actually in another formulation of that particular one. I wanted to try the more matte version. I didn't get the first one. I didn't get the second go around. So I thought, you know what? I'm gonna get the third go around. Third time's a charm, right? So I got this one in shade 1.5 warm. I think it's the right shade. And we're gonna see how my 42-year-old almost combination skin is going to react to a more matte foundation, something I don't usually do. So this foundation technically has been reformulated to clean up some of the ingredients. I think what they wanted to do is create more of a skincare sort of like hybrid or feel to the foundation. The ingredients are supposed to be a little bit better. Sunscreen, I can't tell for mine because they cover it up. In Canada, you have to get some sort of approvals or DIN number for your sunscreen, and so I'm not even sure about that for us here in Canada. It is covered up. I honestly don't even want sunscreen in my foundation because half the time they're putting in a chemical sunscreen in combination with the physical, and I do not like chemical sunscreens whatsoever. Now, I got in the shade, like I was saying, 1.5 warm. That's one thing I find with DIOR foundations to be very, very tricky. I cannot seem to get my right undertone. I'm usually a neutral undertone or slightly peachy. Again, it just depends on the brand, but I feel with DIOR, it's just tricky for me. I feel like their neutrals are usually a little bit too almost like green cast on my particular skin. So I went with 1.5 warm. It does look a bit light, but I do feel also it's probably going to oxidize. That's just the feeling I have with even like my glow foundation from before. It oxidized a bit. The face and body one, that seemed to oxidize. So I just kind of went with, you know, what I thought the good undertone was, and knowing it's probably going to get a little bit darker. Because I think ideally I would have went with like 2.5 N, but I think that would have been too dark after everything is said and done. Let's just clip my hair and get it out of the way for the foundation application. One half of my face, I'm going to definitely use a brush, which is my sort of like preferred way to apply foundation. Lately, I've been actually loving using just my hands, but we'll go ahead and use a brush on one side, and then we'll use our fingers with a sponge topper upper on this side. So a little bit of a shake. Whoa, that like really squirted far. What happened? I did swatch this earlier, so I feel like some of it must have got like congealed in there. Okay, it is quite watery. So a little bit watery. Let's do a swatch on my face. So I think it's okay. I think it's a bit light, to be perfectly honest with you. But like I said, I do have a feeling it's going to oxidize. I love the consistency already, you guys. I feel like it's thin. Oh, a slight scent, nothing crazy, just a very chic, expensive smelling, slightly floral scent. Let's just blend it in. I absolutely love it already. What? This is not a very, very overly matte foundation. I mean, let's give it a second, I guess, to dry down. That blended like a dream. I did nothing to blend that. I love how thin it is already. I just absolutely love that. I hate heavy feeling foundations. That's sort of how I felt with the new Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation. I reviewed that as well. And that one felt right off the bat just very sticky. Yes, it gave a glowy effect, but it felt heavy. It just felt heavy on the skin. And like I said in the video, slightly suffocating. And I feel like a foundation to me should feel light, mainly because once you have your foundation on, you're not done with your makeup. You're putting on a little bit of powder, maybe concealer. You're putting on some blush usually, some bronzer, maybe some highlighter, maybe 2 blushes if you're like me. And it's just like the layering upon layering. The last thing you want is a very heavy, thick first layer in your foundation. And that's kind of where I didn't appreciate the new Charlotte Tilbury. The color match is a bit light because again, my shoulders get a bit dark. You know what I mean? But for winter, I think it would be a good shade, and it might oxidize. I'm actually going to put some on my hand and just see if it oxidizes a little bit. Just spread it around and I'll see if that oxidizes. That'll be the best test. All right, let's go ahead and put some onto the other side of my face. Another like half a pump. Oh, I just love how liquidy it is. This is so fantastic already. I don't want to get my hopes up because, like I said, I'm not usually into more matte foundations, but I think it's going to be more skin-like than anything. I don't foresee it being like, you know, when you hear matte, you think, or I think, you know, like dry desert and like cracking skin and settling into fine lines. But come on, like these new foundations, they're not going to formulate them to be, you know, unflattering. I think it's just going to be a very natural effect. And a sponge works beautifully too. Yes, 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 I'm so excited. After Charlotte's foundation, which, I don't know, I personally just, I don't reach for it. I was a bit disappointed, to be honest. I feel like this is just feeling so good on my skin right now. So that's one layer, using a sponge and using a brush. I like both ways. I do feel with this particular foundation, you get a little bit more glow using a brush. Isn't that interesting? And I feel it's just a little bit more, like it's still glowy, but I do feel that this side is maybe just a little bit more sheared out, more skin-like, more of a satin effect. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm not going to add another layer. I normally wouldn't, so I'm not going to do that. This is perfect. I feel like it just gives a nice evening effect. And I do feel that the best way to create a really perfect canvas is to then go in and conceal where you need it. I feel putting on a massive amount of foundation as we get older is not flattering. It's just not. I think, you know, into my 40s, I am starting to get some fine lines. I am getting some texture here. And the last thing I want is to enhance that. I feel like here is where I need help, which I can just do with concealer. Sometimes here I need a little bit of help. And again, you can do that with concealer. I absolutely, positively love how it looks. It has evened out my skin. It has gone over any fine lines. I'm not getting any dryness. I'm not getting any accumulation. It is so beautiful, you guys. Let's do a quick close-up before I go ahead and do the rest of my makeup. I am absolutely digging this. I'm gonna go ahead and put on the rest of my makeup and then I'll see you guys when I'm done. All right guys, I'm back. My hair is like all disheveled. Sorry, don't mind it. I don't know, pseudo Bridget Bardot, trying to be, wanna be, I don't know. I love this foundation. I cannot get over how natural it still looks and feels. I don't usually wear kind of like more matte foundations. I think the most matte foundation I own is probably the Chanel Ultra Tenue, and I hardly reach for it because I feel like it's just a little bit too mattifying for me, a little bit too long wearing for me. I just can't get over how much I love this. It didn't oxidize too much. I feel like the shade is just perfect for winter, but I do feel like it's going to be a little bit light going into summertime. It did oxidize just that little bit. I don't know, I just keep looking and trying to find flaws and I honestly can't. So like it just looks so smooth, so even. It's not enhancing texture. It's not feeling heavy on the skin. It's really perfecting. Like it is really, really pretty. I am absolutely smitten with this. And I think for me, the biggest plus when it comes to this foundation is that it feels so good on the skin. It doesn't feel drying. It doesn't feel heavy. I am going to wear it for the rest of the day. This went on my skin probably around 2 o'clock. If I can get it to about 8 or 9 o'clock, that's probably as long as I'm gonna wear it for today. And I'll come back and I'll show you guys how it is wearing into the evening. I'm really, really impressed right now, you guys. I will show you guys how it goes and I'll see you in a little bit. All right, guys, I'm checking in. So it is about 9 o'clock right now. So I've been wearing this foundation for about 6 hours. So not a full work day. I just needed to pop back on and show you guys how it looks at this point and finish off the video because I won't be able to wear it much longer today. Just even looking at it right now, I mean, it's absolutely stunning. All right, so let's take a closer peek here. I'm just looking in the mirror and I do feel that it is just so smooth still. Like it doesn't look like it's worn at all. And I was with my kids, we washed their hair. So again, you know, water was splashing. I laid down actually a little bit on the sofa, so it's kind of mushed on one side of my face, kind of took a pseudo nap. There's been no movement. Like I just feel like it looks really, really fresh. Again, I do feel like my oil is just trying to peek through and I think that's pretty normal. I didn't really set it very much at all. Like I put the most lightest dusting of the MAC blot powder on my T-zone. It's wearing beautifully and evenly. The color didn't oxidize too much. I almost feel like I want to get a second shade, slightly darker, so I can just kind of mix the two shades depending on the season. I just love this foundation so much. For someone who has, you know, dry cheeks, I don't feel like this is overly matte at all. I feel like it is just such a natural skin-like foundation that is wearing so beautifully. Let's take a little bit of a close-up. I am getting some potentially wearing here. I've been blowing my nose a bit. Overall, I feel like it's worn really, really evenly. That little bit of shine, nothing crazy though. And just very even, very smooth. And it feels still very light on the skin. I don't feel like it's, you know, feeling greasy or heavy. Like I want to say 10 out of 10. I don't have any negatives right now, so I do want to give it pretty much, you know, 9.5 to 10 out of 10. Again, the bottle's gorgeous. It's an absolute winner. All right, guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. Let me know down below if you guys have tried this foundation. I know there's the 2 previous versions, so sometimes it is hard to justify purchasing like a 3rd rendition of this foundation. Also, I'm gonna leave you with another video. It's going to be the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation, which did not work out as well for me. It still looked good, but if you are curious about that foundation, I'm gonna link it next for you guys. Enjoy, don't forget to subscribe before you guys go today. Ring that notification bell to get notified of future videos. And I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.